What is the driving force for the US dollar strength? What is going on in the US housing market? How many Americans applied for first-time unemployment benefits? What major US stock indexes is correlated with Bitcoin? Watch this video to find out answers to these questions. The US stock market is trading in the red for the second day straight. Three key stock indexes closed yesterday, having shed almost 1% each. However, today we might see a sharp bounce in the whole equity market. Futures on the S&P opened today 0.4% up. Currently, the index is trading at nearly 4,542. It's expected to stock to the upper border of the range between 4,520 and 4,570. Meanwhile, the season of corporate earnings report is full in swing. Alcoa, the global top aluminum producers, reported a net profit. Bank of America and Morgan Stanley also closed the year with the upbeat financial records. The same is true about Procter & Gamble. And the US housing market remains robust, and new housing starts beat expectations in December. Besides, the number of building permits increased to 1.87 million units. This data proves expansion of the domestic economy and positive prospects of the market. The currency market is trading steadily without notable changes. The US dollar inched down yesterday, though its index remains at the same levels. It indicates for the growth of the greenback. Recently, the US dollar strength has come from soaring yields of US treasuries. Nowadays, investors are anticipating the US Fed's policy meeting scheduled for January 25 and 26. The Fed's hawkish stance is a life jacket for the US dollar. Today, its index is trading inside the corridor between 95.20 and 95.80. Perhaps the US macroeconomic data that is due on Thursday will influence market sentiment. The number of initial unemployment claims rose by 55,000 from a week ago to 286,000. This figure has been the largest since mid-October and much higher than the forecast of 220,000. There is also the biggest weekly growth since mid-July. What's going on with the Canadian dollar? The COVID aftermath and rampant inflation are also putting strain on the Canadian economy. According to the inflation data released yesterday, consumer prices in Canada surged to the highest rate in the last 30 years. The annual CPI increased to 4% in December, stronger than the expected 3.5%. The Bank of Canada has to raise the key policy rate as a countermeasure. This move is bullish for the Canadian dollar. Meanwhile, the loonie is propped up by a rally in the oil market. Oil prices have leapt to a 5-year peak. This pushed the USD CAD pair to a trading range between 1.2450 and 1.2540. Meanwhile, the currency pair is consolidating at about 1.2490. On Thursday, Bitcoin advanced by 1.3%. The outlook for the flagship cryptocurrency depends on policy decision of the Fed Reserve. A lot of experts have found out that Bitcoin is correlated with the S&P 500. Interestingly, 43% of Bitcoin is for the American session. In recent days, the digital token is trading steadily. On Sunday, the crypto tried to conquer the level of $44,000, but it failed. For the time being, Bitcoin is trading at $42,000. To sum up, the correction in the US stock market is still going on. Our analysts reckon all stock indexes could rebound today or tomorrow. This scenario is visible amid the large downward correction. Follow developments in financial markets on InstaForex TV channel. See you tomorrow.